أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا إنك تعلم ما نخفي وما نعلن وما يخفى على الله من شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء. الحمد لله الذي وهب لي على الكبر إسماعيل وإسحاق إن ربي لسميع الدعاء. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. ربنا وتقبل دعائي. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. صدق الله العظيم. الفاتحة.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, this year we're starting our 16th international conference. May Allah make it auspicious, inshallah. In this conference, we will again give our important topics to our brothers and sisters who are experts, and they will make their speeches, and thus we will complete our conference within a period of 2 days, inshallah. This year again, alhamdulillah, our speakers from various countries will make their speeches in their fields of expertise, and thus we will complete our useful services. As I said, this year we have speakers from various countries. This year we have speakers from South Africa, the USA, Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, and of course, Turkey. They will give you their meetings on the subjects they are specialized in. Thus, we will have completed one of our duties together today, inshallah, once again. While finishing my thoughts, may Allah be with you and help you in all of your endeavors and be entrusted to Allah, insha'Allah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Habib Ghanem from USA Halal and ISWA Halal Certification Department. The subject that I was asked to elaborate on and talk about is exploring the global halal market, the opportunities and trends in the industry. It's a comprehensive study and of growing importance in the halal market worldwide. The research highlights opportunities and trends in the halal sector, covering sectors food and beverage, pharmaceutical, cosmetics, finance, etc. In this regard, it is emphasized that the global Muslim population, which has increased significantly, and the demand for halal products has also increased accordingly. It is stated that the halal products and services with an estimated value of exceeding millions and trillions of dollars have the potential of business to benefit from this market, developing true halal certified products and collaborating across borders. However, the importance of adherence to quality control, labeling, and halal certification standards is also emphasized in the businesses aiming to be successful in this, which means first and foremost, in my opinion, an organization like the World Halal Council is very critical that all the members that are there adhere to the unified standards. Now, they have little differences in a few items like the mechanical slaughter and the hand slaughter and the stunning, but basic standards should be followed, number one. And you have to show with your logo that you must adhere to those. We all signed that we will abide by that, and we have to be clear if it is like meat, poultry, to show what type of slaughter we do in our labeling. Having said that, I am a member of the Halal Professional Worldwide. I have been involved personally since 1987, 89 to 1999 when we formed the World Halal Council, previously World Halal Food Council. The idea was to make sure that whatever is labeled halal and is shipped overseas or used locally has been in compliance. We have had many issues with fly-by-night people and some people that just put halal without an organization that has been supervising. It is very critical that if you want to have an opportunity in the global halal market, you must have a registered halal logo or a halal organization that is recognized. By recognized, I mean for organizations like GİMDES, CIMIC, and the other accreditation bodies, HAC, IAC from UAE, the Saudi Accreditation Council, Gulf Accreditation Council, JAKIM, MUIS, BPJPH from Indonesia. Either one of those, you have to put what standards you are using on your certificate. Now, I understand you cannot put every single thing on your labeling, but the basic thing is for your opportunities to be better, you need to identify yourself. Now, another way is now that is the trends that are coming is when people try to sell online. It's another advantage and disadvantage because we need to know what standards have been used. Definitely, we have different basic standards, but they're not major, but some people prefer. I like GİMDES very much to be quite honest, because GİMDES, on their packaging, they will put what school of thought they use, whether it's Hanafi, Shafi'i, Hanbali, And I find that to be very, very good, because so the people would understand who when they are buying. And also, what I would add to that, if they are accredited internationally, not individually, even if they are selling things that are not, or buying things that are not internationally accredited, something like maybe peanuts, groundnuts, or whether it's chocolate, you need to have a proper logo. I have figures, and I will release those figures. I'm waiting for the office to give me the final figures tomorrow, and on Monday I will send it to be an attachment to this. As a member of the Global International Halal Professionals, I have noticed that many of us go back to square one with Halal 101, talking about the slaughter and picking on each order for minor things. We have to look at the big picture. Just like the kosher does, when they go, they ask for, and they look and make sure that there is compliance. They only buy something that is certified kosher. They are, unlike halal, they have about 700 to 800 different kosher organizations, which I was surprised to find out. I never knew that they had nearly 1,000 kosher certification bodies. When we started in the late 80s and early 90s, we had less than 40 halal certification bodies. Actually, I would say maybe even 20. Then now we have about maybe 500 or 400. But as far as the standards are concerned, kosher has more different groups than us. They have for Europe, they have local certification areas that you have to comply with their local rabbis. I think we should take that as and learn from them, because they've been doing it way ahead of us. And the reason is, if you want to sell something in an area that is maybe mainly Hanafi or Shafi, you have to go by those standards. Now, some people usually use multiple standards. I don't have a problem with that, as long as you clearly label that and put it in your certificate. With that, on my next program, my next follow-up, I will get the figures from the Department of Agriculture and the Export Trade and the World Trade Organization to help you understand that there is a very big market. And we as Muslims should definitely start insisting and checking on the halal compliance and making sure there's proper labeling. I thank you very much, and I hope that this brief introduction to this subject is something that we will learn from each other. There is a trend right now to make a big union worldwide where everybody can check on each order and make sure that whoever they're buying from or selling to are in compliance. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and best regards to GİMDES. They've been doing a good job. And remember, the key is the World Halal Council. I know there are many accreditation bodies, but the World Halal Council is not a government body. It's independent halal certification bodies. And we should strengthen it and support each other and make sure that we are all following the basic halal standards. Assalamu
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Brother and sister rahimahullah, I would like to talk about Islamic economic and finance in Indonesia. We started Islamic finance in Indonesia when the Majlis Ulama and the government of Indonesia established bank muamalat. We not call Islamic bank, but normally in Indonesia we call Syariah bank. In Indonesia, after established Bank Muamalat in Indonesia in 1993, a lot of people realize this bank is refuse or reject the riba. How they implement the bank using murabaha scheme as the akad murabaha, mudorabah scheme using akad mudorabah, and also scheme wadi'ah, we call akad wadi'ah, and the operation of bank not really use riba or interest. People always think about how the Islamic bank can work without interest rate, without using the riba. Now, in Indonesia, the Islamic finance, not only the Syariah bank, but also Syariah cooperative, and also Baitul Mal wal Tamwil, the Syariah microfinance, and we also have a takaful or Syariah insurance. Also, we have a capital market, Islamic capital market. We work with the several institutions using the Islamic finance, and we already developed now a lot of kind of business using Syariah bank, using takaful or Syariah insurance, using Syariah cooperative, and they are now really used to Islamic finance because the government as regulator already set up a lot of regulation, and the Islamic bank or Syariah bank, the Syariah insurance, Syariah cooperative, they have to use the regulation from the government. That is why, in my opinion, we need to make cooperation among Islamic finance institution around over the world, especially for Islamic countries under OIC. We know we still need the empower many Syariah bank in Indonesia. They need the fresh money as equity. They need people use to get money for export of product or the import of the product. We know in the spirit of Islamic economic or Sharia business, they use the fiqh mu'amalah. Fiqh mu'amalah under Islamic atmosphere can be grow when the organization to focus to issue the fatwa. Majelis Ulama of Indonesia, Indonesian Council of Ulama, have one institution to establish for issue fatwa regarding with Islamic finance. Up to now, they already issue 167 fatwa for Syariah cooperative, for Syariah insurance, for capital market, for Syariah bank, and also they pay attention with the non-commercial sector like zakat, wakaf. At the moment, we have connection for wakaf linked to suku. You know, the suku is in the area of capital market. The wakaf can pulling the money, and after that they put the money in the suku, and the people get benefit from the suku, and they establish a lot of public facilities. After that, the suku can pay back the money for the temporary wakaf in the scheme of suku. That is why this is the very important for us. Now we have to mobilize Islamic fund and put the money in the suku, and suku get a return, and the return.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear brothers and sisters, it's a great honor and pleasure for me to participate in this third international video conference on halal and tayyib products organized by GİMDES. First of all, I pray to Allah Almighty Subhanahu wa Ta'ala that this video conference will bring auspicious and bountiful results to all participants, GİMDES, and all Muslims. I have been informed that the video conference will be held online this year as well, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizing team and everyone who contributed. The work of GİMDES in establishing and implementing halal standards in the food sector is truly admirable. Especially Dr. Hussein and his team are working with great devotion in this field. Their efforts in determining Islamic halal standards and implementing these standards increase the awareness of Muslims on this issue and support a lifestyle in accordance with Islamic values. From the time of Adam, peace be upon him, to the present day, our religion has determined what man should eat. Subsequently, the halal and haram circles were determined by the Sharia and rules sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the prophets alayhimus salam. However, it is sad to observe that the studies on this subject have decreased in some periods. Fortunately, thanks to organizations such as GİMDES, the compliance of what we eat and drink with Islamic standards has begun to be questioned, and important steps have been taken in this regard. Studies on halal standards have developed and progressed over time with GİMDES. In recent years, significant progress has also been made in participation banking and Islamic finance. In this field, Bahrain-based Islamic finance institutions set accounting and auditing standards and provide guidance in implementation. In addition, institutions such as the CB in Malaysia, which is also called as JAKIM, also carry out important work in this field. In Turkey, the Public Oversight Authority has made significant progress on Islamic finance auditing and accounting standards. I believe that these efforts have contributed to the wider applicability of Islamic finance, and I would like to thank everyone who has contributed to this. In Turkey, during the period of Sabahattin Zaim University, which is one of the most known universities in Istanbul, important studies on Islamic finance were carried out and some standards were translated into Turkish. There are ongoing studies on the implementation and development of these standards in the academic field. International symposiums and conferences are of great importance in terms of exchanging ideas and generating new ideas on these issues. Such platforms contribute to the development of solutions by presenting different perspectives. After leaving public service, I have been serving as the General Manager and Chairman of the Board of Directors at Oregon Portfolio. We take care to manage our portfolios in accordance with Islamic finance standards and to closely follow developments in this field. Within this framework, we evaluate whether financial instruments comply with Islamic rules and try to develop solutions that are innovative and in line with Islamic values. I think Muslims need to move from questioning Islamic finance and economics to broader economic areas. This year, the late Alev Alatlı had a good observation. Muslims live in different countries and societies with different sets of rules. As Professor Alatlı pointed out, the issues related to halal standards differ in societies where various sets of rules apply. Muslims should determine which rule sets in their societies are halal or in accordance with Islamic law and act accordingly. The rule sets of states are applied to all their citizens, and the content of these rule sets varies according to the cultural, religious, and legal structure of societies. In countries where Muslims live, regulations in accordance with Islamic law are of great importance for the correct application of the concepts of halal and haram at both individual and social levels. While determining their legal legislation, states should make arrangements to ensure that Muslim citizens live within the framework of Islamic rules while observing the rights of citizens of different faiths. In this context, Muslims should determine the appropriate standards for halal food, Islamic finance, and other Islamic practices in accordance with legal system of the country they live in and act according to these standards. However, in some countries, legal regulations may contradict or fall short of the standards stipulated by Islamic law. In this case, Muslim communities have to develop alternative solutions that are in line with their beliefs and comply with the rules laid down by Islam. For example, in the case of financial transactions, while legislation in some countries sets interest rates and borrowing terms, it is necessary to question whether these terms are in line with Islamic law. Likewise, in order for the standards that determine the halal status of food products to be fully and accurately implemented, detailed regulations should be made and inspection mechanisms should be strengthened. In states where Muslims live, in order to ensure regulations in accordance with Islamic law, it is necessary to raise public awareness, provide trainings, and sensitize the relevant institutions on this issue. In this process, non-governmental organizations, academic circles, and state authorities should work in cooperation to make regulations in accordance with the basic principles of Islamic law. In addition, it is important that these regulations are constantly reviewed and updated in order to protect the rights of Muslims and to ensure social peace. Muslim communities should take into account the differences between the legal regulations in the countries where they live and Islamic law and should establish their own internal mechanisms and implement these mechanisms within the legal framework. For example, Islamic finance products may be available in some countries, but it is important to assess whether these products are fully compliant with Islamic law at both individual and institutional levels. In this context, both public and private actors need to work harder in this area and make the necessary regulations to increase the viability of Islamic finance. Setting and, of course, implementing standards on Islamic finance and other Islamic practices is not only an individual responsibility, but also a social duty. In the societies in which they live, Muslims should strive to reflect the basic principles of Islam in their lives, while at the same time contributing to the general order of society. In this sense, it is both our individual and societal responsibility to maintain a balance between halal and haram and to harmonize legal and Islamic standards. Setting standards and regulations on Islamic finance and other Islamic practices is of great importance at both in the individual and societal level. Regulating financial and other economic activities in accordance with the fundamental principles of Islamic law plays a critical role in meeting the spiritual and material needs of Muslims. In this context, the basic principles of the Islamic financial system are based on the principles of interest-free transactions, risk-sharing, and fair trade. For the effective implementation of these principles, sound standards and regulations must be developed at both theoretical and practical levels. The viability of Islamic financial and economic systems depends on many factors. These factors include domestic and international legal regulations, economic conditions, and social norms. Therefore, Islamic finance standards need to be harmonized to be applicable not only at the local level but also at the international level. International cooperation and standardization efforts play an important role in achieving this harmonization. For example, for Islamic finance to become more widespread internationally, regulations between different countries need to be harmonized and common standards need to be established. Of course, first of all, Muslim countries should implement this mentality in order to set an example for other countries. Improved standards on Islamic finance and other Islamic practices should be designed to enhance the overall well-being of society, not only at the individual and corporate level. Finally, I think that Islamic finance and economic regulations need to be constantly reviewed and updated. Economic conditions, financial products, and market dynamics may change over time. Therefore, revising existing standards and regulations in line with current conditions increases the effectiveness and sustainability of these systems. I think that international conferences and symposiums are of great importance in terms of raising the problems related to Islamic economics and Islamic finance and producing the right solutions. I wish that this video conference will bring fruitful results to GİMDES, and I thank everyone who contributed. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم. May the peace, mercy and blessings of Allah be upon us all. The aim of our conference is to evaluate the current situation and future trends of the halal sector, to bring together stakeholders in the sector to share information and to contribute to the sustainable growth of the halal economy. Increasing world population, changing consumer behavior, and technological developments increase the demand for halal products. The demand for halal products is increasing even more. This situation offers important opportunities for both producers and consumers. However, some challenges need to be overcome for the halal sector to realize its full potential. These challenges include lack of standardization, problems in access to finance, and lack of consumer awareness. The recommendations and discussions presented at the conference will contribute to overcoming these challenges and further developing the halal sector. The concepts of halal and tayyib are not only concerned with food safety and dietary habits, but also cover a wide range of ethical, ecological, and social dimensions. Integrating sustainability with halal and tayyib concepts enables individuals to not only consume products in accordance with religious norms, but also to act responsibly towards the environment and society. It should not be forgotten that this is a field that occupies an important place in the global economy and is intertwined with current issues such as sustainability, ethics, and social responsibility. Before starting the presentation, I would like to underline that such and inclusive subject should not be seen as just eating and drinking. Halal is a living alive, is literally the project of building a civilization. The civilization building did not start now, it was given to us. Sustainability is one of the most important global issues of our time. In this context, the concepts of halal and tayyib represent not only individual consumption habits, but also a way of life that aims for the good of society and the environment. Individuals who adopt this way of life aim to live in accordance with the universal values of Islam while preserving the world's resources. They aim to live in an appropriate way. In this context, I'd like to briefly discuss the basic characteristics of Islamic civilization that underlie living in a halal homeland. The main source of Islamic civilization is the Quran and Sunnah, the sayings and the practices of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These two sources have guided all areas of Islamic civilization. Islamic civilization gave great importance to scientific studies. Many scientists, especially those who grew up in the Islamic world, made important discoveries in fields such as mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. One of the basic principles of Islamic civilization is tolerance, and tolerance, people of different religions and cultures live together in peace and security. Islamic civilization attached great importance to social justice. Institutions such as zakat and alms were intended to support the poor and the needy. Education is of great importance in Islamic civilization. In Quran Karim, there are many examples that encourage learning and the pursuit of knowledge. We need to do more than enough to carry forward the important legacies left to us by Islamic civilization. Therefore, any work that promotes a halal and tayyib life will revive the Islamic civilization and carry it forward. In order to realize these values of Islamic civilization, we must firstly closely examine the production processes of halal and tayyib products. To examine them in order, halal and tayyib. Its production requires careful management at every stage of the supply chain. Starting from agricultural production, the conformity of these products to halal or tayyib standards refers to a wide range of issues, from the seeds used to cultivation techniques to post-harvest processing and packaging. This can only apply to animal production. In halal certification, the products are mostly entered in the factory environment unless there is a great risk. They are checked and certified, but for a sustainable halal and tayyib life, we need to go into much more detail. For example, as of 2016, Malaysia and Indonesia are the main producers of palm oil with a total of 85%. One of the inputs of a company may be a halal certified palm. These inputs can be used in production, of course, but if child laborers are used in production and the laborers' rights are not paid, if there is an exploitation order here, it should be noted that this input will not last long for a sustainable life. In other words, until the input used in a production is halal and not lost, the worker who produces it must work under minimum conditions. The production of halal and tayyib products is only one part of a sustainable life. For a truly sustainable halal and tayyib, we need to consider many factors, from production to consumption, from economy to social life. For this reason, we will examine the subject under four main headings. These are production process, consumption habits, economic dimension, and social dimension. First is the selection and supply of raw materials. Although the issues we will talk about here are familiar and have been mentioned before, I want to talk about the construction of a sustainable system from start to finish. That is, the whole process from soil to table. We have to keep it under control. A disconnection in one link of the chain, curiosity will blur the water and doubt will fall into us. All raw materials used in production must be natural, halal and tayyib. Genetically modified organisms, harmful chemicals and substances considered haram should be avoided. The use of local resources reduces the carbon footprint during transportation and supports economic sustainability. For example, how accurate is it for a company that produces flour in Anatolia to import flour from other countries? In the long term policies will support local producers and increase the efficiency of existing revenues. Procurement of raw materials in accordance with fair trade principles protects the rights of producers. The government's policies will also prevent black marketing. Our second topic is production methods. Natural farming methods that minimize or completely eliminate the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides protect soil health and prevent environmental pollution. Unfortunately, we don't know how much pesticides are currently used. This includes pesticides used unconsciously. Livestock farming in accordance with strict halal rules should ensure animal welfare and healthy living conditions. Grazing preserves biodiversity and increases soil fertility. Like agricultural pesticides, unconscious use of animal medicines is also increasing. Drug residues in food will lead to diseases that we do not know the cause of in the long term and that we cannot treat. The efficient use of water resources and the cleaning of wastewater are important in finding solutions to the problem of water pollution. I'd also like to remind you of the famous Indian saying, "When the last river runs dry, when the last tree dies, when the last fish dies, the white man will realize that money is inedible." None of these things need to happen. In fact, a sustainable halal and tayyib life establishes a system for everyone to enjoy equal opportunities in a fair order. Islamic civilization teaches us to live with the other. Therefore, it acts with the understanding of us, not you and me, and offers a management accordingly. Our third topic is processing and packaging. Hygiene conditions should be observed at every stage of the production process, and production should be carried out in accordance with food safety standards. Too many additives and preservatives should not be added to foods, and natural production should always be preserved. Just because the inputs used in a product are halal and certified, it should not be allowed to use too many different substances. The use of minimum additives will contribute to a certain extent to prevent possible future ailments. The use of biodegradable or recyclable packaging materials will also reduce environmental impacts. Halal certified product sector should be much more sensitive about recyclable packaging than other certificates. Our fourth topic is energy use, and the use of renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and water will reduce carbon emissions. Energy consumption can be reduced by taking energy efficiency measures in production facilities. The fifth heading is waste management to reduce the amount of waste generated in the production process. Methods such as recycling and composting should be applied. Cleaning wastewater with biological and chemical methods and bringing it back into use will contribute to the protection of water resources. I'd like to mention some innovations in the production process of halal and tayyib products. In addition to traditional production methods, the place of modern technologies in the production processes of halal and tayyib products is very important. Innovative solutions such as blockchain technology, artificial intelligence, and the Internet of Things increase the transparency of production processes, improve quality, and ensure sustainability. The demand for halal and tayyib products is rapidly increasing worldwide. This increasing demand requires innovative approaches to be adopted in production processes. Thanks to blockchain technology, all production processes from raw materials to the consumer can be tracked transparently. Consumers can confidently confirm that products are halal and tayyib. Blockchain is a decentralized ledger technology. This means that data is managed not by a central authority, but by many different authorities on a network. Once information is added to a blockchain, it cannot be changed or deleted. This increases the reliability and accuracy of the data. All transaction records are visible to everyone on the blockchain. This ensures that every stage in production process can be tracked and people can guarantee the authenticity of blockchain products, reducing the risk of counterfeiting. For example, an olive oil producer can use blockchain technology to track the entire process from olive picking to bottling and provide consumers with detailed information about the origin of the product. AI-powered image processing systems can be used in the quality control of products, allowing faulty products to be removed from the production line. Machine learning and its algorithms also increase efficiency by optimizing production process. Internet of Things sensors collect and analyze all data from production processes, temperature, humidity, and similar data in real time. Thanks to the collected data, production processes are automated and errors are prevented. The quality and yield of products can be increased by using genetic modification and alternative biotechnological methods in accordance with halal and tayyib principles. New and healthy halal food products can be developed with technologies, and the use of biodegradable or recyclable packaging materials reduces environmental impact. Smart packaging increases consumer satisfaction by preserving the freshness and safety of products. These innovations have a number of benefits. Transparency of production process increases consumer confidence. The quality and reliability of products improves. By optimizing production processes, costs are reduced, environmental impacts are reduced, and natural resources are freed up to develop new and innovative halal products. Our second main topic is consumption habits. The basis for a sustainable halal and tayyib life is not only through improvements in production process, but also through the conscious choices of consumers. Producers' sensitivities on this issue are not enough. We, the consumers, also need to change some of our habits. Let us not forget that what we demand is largely realized through supply. The first of this is conscious consumption. Consumers need to be informed about the production processes, contents, and environmental impacts of the products they buy. Preferring products with halal certification enables consumers to fulfill their religious obligations and consume reliable products. It increases food security, strengthens the economic cycle, and reduces the carbon footprint. Consumers need to reduce food waste by consuming the food they buy in a planned way. Choosing recyclable packaging and practicing waste sorting habits also prevents an environmental pollution. Creating a balanced diet with halal and tayyib foods is important for a healthy life. Choosing natural and minimally processed foods protects health and reduces the risk of chronic diseases. Choosing brands that care about animal welfare is part of ethical consumption. It is important to research the conditions under which products are produced and support brands that produce in accordance with fair trade engineering. Factors affecting the consumers' level of knowledge about halal and tayyib life directly affect their consumption decisions. Factors such as family, friends, and social media shape consumer behavior. The economic status of consumers is an important factor determining their product preferences. The following can be done to change consumer behavior. Educational programs on halal and tayyib can be organized in schools, workplaces, and society. The media can raise public awareness with programs and news that support halal and tayyib. These sustainable production and consumption models can be developed through a cooperation between producers and consumers. Governments can develop policies that promote sustainable halal and tayyib living. Our third main topic is the economic dimension. The sustainability of halal and tayyib life is not only limited to production and consumption habits, but is based on a strong economic foundation. It is not only an individual choice, but also an important part of global economic system. The demand for halal products and services is increasing worldwide. It is increasing. This has led to the halal economy becoming a global market. Halal economy is not only limited to the food sector, but also includes many other sectors such as finance, tourism, cosmetics. Halal economy makes significant contributions to sustainable development by adopting principles such as fair trade, local production, and social responsibility. Sustainable halal and tayyib have some economic dimensions. This includes the production, processing, marketing, and international consumption of halal products. It creates a value chain. All actors in this chain need to find sustainability principles. Local production of halal products supports rural development and stimulates regional economies. The halal sector is an important source of employment, especially in the Islamic world. Halal finance supports sustainable development through instruments such as interest-free banking and ethical investment. They contribute to the development of society by giving more importance to social responsibility projects. These are some challenges faced in a sustainable tayyib economy. Differences in halal certification processes cause problems in international trade. Small-scale halal producers have limited access to financing and devote resources to research and development. Consumers and producers about the halal economy, they may not have enough information. Our fourth main topic is the social dimension, where halal and tayyib era shape not only our food and consumption habits, but also our social relationships and values. This lifestyle is a fundamental building block for a just society, healthy individuals, and a strong cultural identity. There are several social dimensions to living sustainably. Halal and Tayyib life upholds the ideal of a society in which all individuals have equal rights and are treated fairly. Social solidarity is one of the cornerstones of Halal and Tayyib life. Islamic social welfare institutions such as zakat and sadaqah are concrete examples of this solidarity. The production of Halal and Tayyib products in accordance with the principles of fair trade ensures that the rights of the producers are protected. Halal and Tayyib nutrition helps individuals maintain their physical and mental health. A generation without adequate and proper nutrition will always remain weak and vulnerable to disease. Halal and Tayyib living prevents the spread of communicable diseases. It also protects public health. Halal and Tayyib life preserves traditional values and passes them on to future generations. It increases cultural richness by bringing together the Halal and Tayyib understandings of different cultures. It promotes tolerance towards different beliefs and cultures. It has contributed to the establishment of social peace and tranquility. Sustainable Halal and Tayyib living has some social impacts. Halal and Tayyib life strengthens family ties and increases social solidarity. Halal and Tayyib life encourages individuals to have moral values and reduces crime rates. Halal and Tayyib promotes social equity in areas such as education, health, and social services. The number of scientific studies on a sustainable Halal and Tayyib production in the Islamic world is increasing, but these studies are insufficient. The Islamic geography should keep its madrasa system at home and conduct its own studies in its own laboratories. Unless it keeps its madrasa system at home and conducts its own studies in its own laboratories, it will always be content with bespoke information and will have to accept this information as it is. Of course, modern laboratories will facilitate our analysis. We may be 300 for this. We may be financially under-resourced. But let us not forget that the best inventions in history have emerged in the worst laboratories in the face of impossibilities. International standardization bodies such as ISO may have developed some standards for the production and certification of Halal and Tayyib products. As we mentioned before, these standards vary from country to country. Uniformization of standards will facilitate production, reduce costs, and create sustainable understanding. Technological developments such as smart agriculture, sensor technologies, and artificial intelligence make production processes more efficient and sustainable. Halal and Tayyib production methods place environmental sustainability at the center and attach great importance to the protection of natural resources. These production processes help maintain the balance of ecosystems by protecting soil health and promoting biodiversity. Halal and Tayyib products have become a rapidly growing sector in the global market. The growth of this market segment is particularly strong in Asia. It has gained momentum with the increase in the Muslim population and the rise of halal awareness in Western countries. Halal and Tayyib lifestyle is based on the values of health, ethics, and sustainability. The adoption of this lifestyle is closely related to consumer awareness and social change processes. Halal and Tayyib production processes are constantly being developed and modernized with technological innovations. Innovations such as automation technologies, robotic systems, sensor technologies, artificial intelligence, and etc. While increasing efficiency and product quality, they also increase the transparency and consumer confidence. In order for Halal and Tayyib products to be accepted in international markets, harmonization of standards between countries and organizations is of great importance. International organizations such as the World Halal Council aim to create common standards by bringing together federation institutions in different countries. From the understanding that every product produced will definitely be sold, that is, the idea I will sell whatever I produce is now dominant. It should provide transition to special production that takes into account the wishes of consumers. International cooperation is very important for the standardization of halal certification processes. The fact that an additive may be free in country A while it is on the list of banned products in country B is due to the lack or absence of such cooperation. In this sense, projects and institutions such as Darul Halal Madrasa should be supported and cooperation should be increased. Come up with a system that can be constitution of halal certification such as ISO management system, Codex Alimentarius, EU food regulations. Non-profit microfinance institutions should contribute to the empowerment of small-scale halal producers by providing them with loans. Training and awareness-raising activities on halal economy should be carried out. Since it is the first in its field in Turkey, more rural madrasa can be given as example in this sense. Such institutions should be our academic framework and source of scientific references. Adding halal food and nutrition subjects to the curricula of these institutions can ensure that future generations are raised as conscious consumers. Undergraduate programs on halal economy can be opened in universities to train qualified human resources for the sector. Consumer associations and non-governmental organizations can contribute to consumer awareness raising efforts by organizing seminars, workshops, and campaigns, improving the quality of halal products and reaching new markets. Investments should be made in R&D studies. Joint R&D projects can be carried out by bringing together the scientific infrastructure of universities and the market knowledge of the industry. Incentives provided by the government can increase investments in R&D studies. These technologies offer new opportunities in halal food production. For example, packaging materials developed with nanotechnology can keep food fresh for longer for a sustainable future. Adopting a halal and tayyib lifestyle and taking steps in this direction are both for ourselves and for society. The food we consume needs to be produced fast if we are accessing it fast. Vegetables and fruits are made to grow faster. Flavors and flavorings were used to make the products look and smell better. Foods in the production phase. Preservative additives were added to prolong their life. Frozen products were ready to be placed on our tables, easy to cook, easy to quickly. I started to get to use something that gives flavor to the tongue but damages or even destroys all the spiritual flavors in the heart. While we were getting used to all this, our Muslim brothers and sisters all around the world continue to be persecuted under bombs. They are slaughtered in front of our eyes in oppressed geographies. If we want a sustainable and tayyib life, we need to join the sustainable side spot. For this reason, we repeat the saying, which has become a touchstone that is easier to observe halal than to memorize a boycott list. Yes, today a halal certificate from a reputable institution is also a hand extended to our persecuted expressions on the other side of the world. Whatever value judgment there is on earth has been destroyed in Palestine. There is no morality, no law. No international institution works. We must join the boycott to salute the holy and glorious resistance of our brothers and sisters who are being slaughtered in that tiny strip of open-air prison. Come on, stand up like a football fan, where on the face of the earth anyone whose heart is not barren and whose mind is not handcuffed must stand up. Let's stand up, Muslims, as the presentation is slowly coming to an end. I would like to include the words of the writer Alev Alatlı that not every legal right is halal and cannot be halal. Likewise, buying your bankrupt brother's house that is put up for sale for extortion may be your legal right, but is not halal. An intervener who obtains a zoning license is legally innocent while encroaching on the horizon of the city, but his work is not halal. A sustainable life is the Islamic civilization itself. We must produce such products that all humanity can say, this is my product, and consume it with confidence. If we want a sustainable life, we need to learn and teach ourselves to be fair and ethical to create alternatives. With every product we buy, with every action we take, with every sentence we utter, we have to be part of the world we want to live in. And when we realize this, we'll make the world a better place. I greet all of us with the greetings of Almighty Allah. And I hope to see you, inshallah, the next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To all our audience, brothers and sisters, wherever you are, we would like to welcome you back to the 16th International GİMDES Halal and Tayyib Product Conference. May this conference bring us together stronger, and may Allah Almighty, the Creator, bless all of us and guide all of us to what is right and protect all of us from what is wrong. Now we all are aware when we talk about halal. Why halal? Allah Almighty, the Creator, the one true God, said to us, Ya ayuhan nas, O people, Kulu mimma fil ardi halalan tayyiba. Eat, drink, whatever I have provided for all of you that is halal and good or quality food. At the same time, Allah said, وَلَقَدْ قَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Allah said, indeed we have created and honor the children of Adam and Eve. Means the offspring of Adam and Eve. That means all of us. He is talking to us. We have honored all of you. And we have provide transportation وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ for all of you to travel on land and on sea, so that you can see the creation and enjoy what Almighty Allah have provided for all of us. وَرَزَقْنَاكُمْ مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ, and He have provided for all of us. Every creation of Allah, their provision is being provided by the Creator. Animals, trees, even all the seafood in the sea, their provision is being provided. And Allah said, I provide for them tayyiba and halal provision. And among the creation of Allah Almighty, the one true God, He said, وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِّمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا تَفْضِيلًا. We are the best creation of Almighty God, Allah Rabbul Alameen. So because we are the best, He always wants us to eat the best, drink the best, dress the best dress. Anything you want to do, make sure that you go for the best. So, a short sharing. In 2021, Muslim market value at $2 trillion US dollar. The Muslim market, $2 trillion. In medicine, food, beverage, fashion, and also in Muslim tourism. Allahu Akbar. But remember, by 2025, it's been predicted the market will be valued $2.8 trillion US dollar. Can you imagine, brother and sister? All this good news that we are exposed to today as a Muslim, we are not supposed to be selfish and keep it as a secret. But we are here to share with all of you out there that this market is for everybody. Anything to do with things that can bring benefit to all of us. Allah Almighty remind us as fellow Muslim, number one, وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. Whatever blessing and ni'mah that Allah have given us, share it with others. You must have that kind of feeling for one another, because that is the reality of life. We are not just be ourselves here or by ourselves, but we are with everybody. Every nation, every tribe, wherever you go, we are all like one big family. Now, the largest market is food and beverage. In 2021, we had 31.5%. Yeah, just on food and beverage. Now we are not talking about the halal and the Muslim-friendly tourism yet. Just food and drinks. Allahu Akbar. What is important? Number one, for me to remind myself and all the good brothers and sisters who are involved in halal certification. Yeah, it's very important for us to make sure that we ourselves understand the concept of halal and tayyibah and good. Meaning, we do not just focus on halal, but we want to make sure that our product or anything that we certified is good quality, standard best practice. That is very important. It's not just a name or logo or label, but it's about the content. Because there is a saying, we are what we eat. We want to be the best, we look for the best. Eat the best food. Drink the best drink. Anything that do not cause harm to your body, your mind, and your soul. Now, again, for Muslims, it's very important for us to have this noble character that our Prophet have displayed and show us. Number one, honesty, siddiq. Anytime when you want to say something, make sure that you know what you are saying and be honest with your word. Speak only what is right. Do not allow yourself to be corrupted. Number two, trustworthy, amana. Because without amana means we don't have iman. Because the Prophet said, La iman liman la amanatalah. These are very important value and qualities. Thirdly, of course, you must be transparency. Anything you do and you say you are transparent. Nothing to hide. You must have empathy sometimes to other people. People want you to be honest to them. Honesty is the best policy in any business. And lastly is your commitment. Whatever you say, whatever you promise, make sure your commitment is always there. And everything we do is for the sake of Almighty Allah. Lillahi Rabbil Alameen. Like what Allah have reminded us. Kul inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi Rabbil Alameen. Remind yourself that your prayer and your sacrifices, whatever you do in this life, eating, drinking, business, dressing, working, anything that you do in this life, and your ending, everything you do it for Allah. Lillahi Rabbil Alameen. Without that, there is no value in the sight of God. For fellow Muslim, please remember this important value. I will try my best to make it easier for all of us to have a good beginning and a good ending. Don't forget the 3 I. I number 1 is the intention, niyat. Anything you do, make sure your intention is pure, clean, is clear. No hidden agenda. Purely, you are doing a halal business. When you say halal means halal. There's no gray area anymore. Yeah? That's number 1, your intention. Your intention is to share. Sharing is caring. Don't be selfish. Don't be greedy. Don't lie. Don't cheat. It's again the Islamic principle. Number 2 I is called iman. You must have the belief that whatever Allah have given us the best is not only for you and me, for humanity, for everybody. Don't worry. Anything we do for the sake of Allah, and you're always to make it here to make it easy for everybody, Allah is going to reward us. لِكُلِّ حَسَنَةٍ أَشْرُ أَمْثَالِهَا. Every good deed that you engage in, telling what is right, showing people how to do halal business, how to have Muslim-friendly halal tourism, example, you will be rewarded by Allah. Of course, you gain some profit in this world, but at the same time, Allah will going to reward you. So remember about the iman. And remember qada and qadar. Allah is always there, watching us, listening to us. And He wants us to be honest with everybody. Not only Muslim, but humanity. All of us must have the sharing spirit and be kind and be loving. Then the third I is istiqamah. What is istiqamah? Be consistent. Sometimes you start with something good, but halfway you are corrupted. Don't do that. If you want to have a good ending, if you start with something that is pure, good, halal, tayyibah, make sure it is consistent until the end of your life. Then you see there will be a lot of blessing from Allah Almighty. For the people who are not yet Muslim, we welcome you to understand what is halal and tayyibah, because we want you to participate in this kind of business. Because if you engage yourself in this kind of business, you will never regret. And Muslim is always there to make it easy for you, because our Prophet always reminds us, and our Prophet, when I mention Prophet Muhammad, is not only for Muslim. Allah Almighty is telling us, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We never send you, O Prophet Muhammad, except to bring mercy and love to the world, to everybody. He's not a prophet to a particular nation, or to the Arab, or to the Muslim, but he is the messenger of Allah to all of us. So this universal value is important for us to understand. Halal and tayyibah, Allah Almighty said, it's not only for Muslim. He said, it's for everyone, all of us, for mankind. This is very important. To the extent I'd like to share something that a lot of people overlook. Maybe the food, the animals like cow, chicken, all these are halal animal, sheep or goat. But there is another area that a lot of people are not aware. Inshallah, the Muslim halal certification body will look into that. There is animal that was fed by or is being fed by jalala, means bad feeding or the filthy feeding, and that kind of animal is not healthy for you to consume. Allahu Akbar walillahi alhamd. So, we hope this halal standard best practice, guided by the divine law, Allah's law, for every one of us will bring benefit for all of us. And we like to inform all of you again. Now even they got halal fashion you can explore. And they got halal tourism, how to make it friendly and how to make it halal. That you will see that most of the Muslims today are able to travel from one country to the next. We love to see Allah's creation. So if anybody who try to also get involved in this, what you call as halal and Muslim friendly tourism, we are sure to benefit a lot. So as Muslim, we are not supposed to be selfish and be greedy, and that's where in this conference, we are calling every one of us who have the interest to be part of all of us. You are always welcome. Because this industry about halal and tayyibah is for me, you, and every one of us. So may Allah Almighty make all of us understand these beautiful values that is sure to bring a lot of benefit to all of us and strengthen our tie being mankind, brothers and sisters in humanity, that we will live in peace, harmony, and we will work together to achieve our goal. For those who want to be successful in dunya and akhirah, here to the hereafter, don't forget one beautiful dua that Allah have taught us to recite. I like to share with all of you before I end my humble reminder. Allah said, ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Oh Allah, bless us with success and happiness in this life, success and happiness in the hereafter, and save us from the torment, the difficulty of this world and the next. May Allah accept our prayer, and may Allah make all of us live together as a family with the right attitude, with the right understanding. Firstly, the Muslim brothers and sisters, we must not forget it is our duty to convey the message of Allah, the universal value, to everybody. And may Allah give hidayah to those who are not yet guided or not yet exposed to the truth. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept whatever we do, especially the community who are involved in the halal certification committee or organization. May Allah accept whatever we do as an act of ibadah lillahi ta'ala. Amin. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Hope to hear from all of you, and hope all of us will meet up again one day here or the hereafter. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Meaning, glory be to you, O Almighty, the one true God. All praises belong to you. We bear witness there's none worthy of worship except you alone. And to you we ask for forgiveness. Forgive us, O Almighty Allah, Rabbul Alameen. And to you we repent, accept our repentance. Amin. Ya Rabbul Alameen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.